This is the Tigers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh boy, the lead in the division continues to shrink. The Tigers play bad baseball, the Guardians surge, and you add it all up, and it is a Tuesday night at Comerica Park. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. I am your host, Jake Riepma, and this one hurt. My goodness, 7-5 the final. Guardians win it in extra innings, and a pivotal series begins with a big fat L. We're going to break it all down. What went wrong in extra innings? What went wrong throughout the course of the 9 innings? The mistakes that were made and just how frustrating it was. We'll try to get through it all together. And as always, I'll have my biggest talking point, our turning point, and our player of the game. So buckle up, dial it in, and go ahead and sound off in the comments, because I know we are frustrated, and rightfully so. This team is giving us a lot to be frustrated over, and it's a culmination of a long time coming. And unfortunately, it's coming to a head at the worst possible time. We begin where we always do, our biggest talking point. And you look at the box score, of course, oh my goodness, the Guardians just explode for 4 runs in the 10th inning. And it felt similar to that game. The Guardians did the exact same thing earlier this season where they run away with it in extra innings. But to me, the Kerry Carpenter home run was amazing. It gives this team a shot of life. Yes, everything else. But this Tigers team lost this game in so many different ways, and that's where we begin, our biggest talking point.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And that was a long delay. We fired the producer, which was me, and I'm clicking and clicking and clicking, and the graphics sounder won't go off. But you get the idea. Like I said, that's why we do it live. The beauty of the live Locked On Tigers postcast. My performance just then was similar to the Tigers' performance on the base pass, I should say. I made a couple of notes. The mistakes that just drove me crazy. Andy Ibanez gets thrown out at home. Torque gets thrown out at second, and I've said it time and time again, the broadcast, whoever it is, everybody just loves to be, oh yeah, we're a real aggressive team. No, this is from time to time, this is a dumb Tigers team that makes dumb mistakes that costs them, gets thrown out on the bases, and that's what you saw in tonight's game. And the Torque base running error costs this team a run, and should Ibanez have been sent rounding third, and the Guardians just made great plays. They did. Even at the very beginning of the game, I think where you got Jones running into second, tagging up, and the Guardians even challenged that one, and he's ruled safe. I thought he was out in real time. Dirks thought he was out in real time, but the aggressive, the disguise of, this team's just being aggressive. No, they're poor base running. And then obviously Torque over there at first base, just another rough game defensively. He's got to knock that down. He can't let that ball get into the outfield. Mize doesn't cover over on first right away. The slight hesitation costs him, keeps the inning going, and the Guardians score runs on that. Wenzel Perez doesn't hit the cutoff man, and he's flat-footed when he tries to throw it home, allowing a run to score. Just little league mistakes that a team that is trying to solidify a division title should not be making in important baseball games in the middle of September. And if it sounds like I'm whining or complaining or bitching and everything else, it's because I am. And this Tigers team needs to be better. And it's so frustrating to watch, to think this is where they are at this juncture of the season. So yes, the Kerry Carpenter home run was awesome and gave this team life and a chance. You love the never quit mantra, the gritty Tigers and everything else. But with 2 outs in the 9th inning as a pinch hitter, that's shown the clutch gene. It really is. It's just too bad it's overshadowed by the mistakes and then into the extra innings. I mean, what was that? Will Vest just got absolutely shelled. I mean, the guards were just peppering him. Batter after batter, foul line to foul line, double down the left field line, double down the right field line, home run. And it just, I'll go through the play-by-play so I actually get it right. And my dumb brain is not remembering the wrong instances. But the top of the 10th, obviously Quan starts it out with the double. Then you've got the triple into the left center gap. Ramirez gets the ground rule double, another double, and it's just over and over again. Then a single, and it just takes all the life out of Comerica Park, just sucks all the air out of the balloon. And that's the kind of result that we had tonight with the Tigers losing 7-5 to the Guardians. The comment section continues to fill up. I got my piece out there. I want to hear what everybody else has to say. Corey's up first, and he says, well, that hurt. Thomas Rotani, I'm so sick of Riley Green, ho-hum attitude and swing, Torkelson with crappy defense, and AJ being AJ. That's what we saw tonight. Sean Gray is up next. He says that was so frustrating to watch. Should have won that game. Why is Jake Rogers ever pinch hitting? And the base running was brutal. Again, I had that same thought. Why is Jake Rogers in the baseball game? At what point does that give this team a strategic advantage and an upper hand in trying to win a pivotal game? I'm totally with you there. We got Demetrius McNeil checking in. Kerry Carpenter's home run to tie the game. Will Vest gives up 4 runs in the 10th inning. Not pretty at all. Now they have to win the next 2 games to win the series or forget it. Got to come back next game. Yeah, I mean, listen, the lead is down to 5.5, and you still have 5 games against the Guardians. So it's a little bit daunting to think, or haunting is the better way to put it. It just feels like it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope, and you don't want the Tigers to go down that slippery slope and it get closer and closer. Braylon Dennis agrees with me. Our base running has been awful lately. Indeed, it has. Dylan on that same wavelength. Early mistakes on the base pass. And the dude says we aren't even a 500 club since the break. We are cooling off when everyone else is heating up. That's how I feel. That is exactly how I feel as well. And listen, I wear my heart on my sleeve with this team, and I'm texting people all excited that Kerry Carpenter tied it up. And before you know it, Will Vest was a guy you feel good about. I was having a conversation with some Tigers people earlier today, and, we're going back and forth. Who do we like in the bullpen? And Vest is the guy that checks that box. He just didn't have it tonight. And again, in a pivotal game, which you look at all the mistakes that the Tigers made to get to that point, and Cleveland was just the better team tonight. And I don't really take assurance in that, just merely pointing it out that, and I don't know who had the comment that this just hasn't been a good ball team since the All-Star break. They've been below 500. So, but Torkelson gets the late home run. So there you go. No, I gotta laugh so I don't cry, because, Torque was not good again tonight. All right. Let's continue to keep this one rolling. I agree with this comment here. I'm just trying to scan all the comments to make sure I touch on every single one. Sean Gray says we need Finnegan back really, really bad. They do. They absolutely do. R1 VJ4 with a good observation on Vest. He says they were jumping first pitch on Vest. It's just one of those days. Vest on, he's on. Not against the division, though. He was not on tonight. All right, we'll continue to keep this one going. Looking at the upcoming schedule and what's remaining, the Tigers have 2 more with the Guardians, followed by 3 with the Braves over the weekend, and then go to Cleveland for 3, and then the Red Sox for 3 as well. So it's not panic time, but it's certainly concern time. Back in a second on the Locked On Tigers postgame show. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by our good friends at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I'm talking about the best kind of bets, player props, building a same-game parlay, or or even jumping in live as the action unfolds, FanDuel's got it all. It makes every game that much more exciting, whether you're watching your team or you're just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. Today's episode is also brought to you by PrizePicks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day. The Tigers make poor decisions on the base paths, but on PrizePicks, being right means cashing in. With football back, PrizePicks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes in less than 60 seconds. It's quick, easy, and honestly, the best way to follow along with football. I love checking out the projections. Hey, you got Josh Allen on Thursday Night Football against the lowly Dolphins. How about more or less than 270 passing yards? Yeah, I'm thinking more right there. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is also brought to you by Nutrafol. You've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, sure, like that actually works. There's so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted over 100.5 million people. Yep, that's how they write it. Trusted by over 1.5 million people. That sounds a little bit better. And it's not just the hype. This is a supplement clinically tested that targets the root cause of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. So whether you are at work, out with friends, or even just getting ready in the morning, Nutrafol gives you more confidence in your daily routine. You see thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Tough night for the Tigers. Rough night for the Tigers. Bad state for the Tigers as an organization. 7-5 the final after 10 innings. Guards moved to 79 and 71. Tigers fall to 85 and 66. The lead in the division is 5.5 as we cruise through the month of September here. Let's get into our biggest turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
If I was going to be with my biggest talking point and turning point, because my biggest talking point was the biggest turning point. And you could look at the extra inning 10th frame and just say, yeah, when Will Vest couldn't get a hitter out and the Guardians hit like 10 straight doubles, of course, that's the turning point. But the pattern of losing baseball, whether it be base running, whether it be mistakes in the field, the Guardians looked like the first place team. I'm looking at a replay of the relay from Kwan to eventually the home plate to gun down Andy Ibanez. And I'm just thinking, wow, like the Tigers don't play defense like that. Jose Ramirez with a sliding play over there at third and throwing out Torkelson by 20 feet at second base. It's just play after play after play. And in return, we've got Wenzel Perez throwing flat-footed from right field, missing the cutoff man. It's just stark contrast. That's the best way to put it. And unfortunately, the Tigers are on the short end. How about our player of the game?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I mean, you just got to give it to the Guardians' entire batting order in the 10th inning there. They do what they do. And up and down that lineup, nobody really stood out. I guess you got Kwan with a couple of hits, a run scored. Jose Ramirez scored 2 runs. There's just not really anybody that had, some kind of overwhelming performance. But for the Tigers, I mean, Kerry Carpenter, that's a clutch home run, sure. Gleyber Torres, what an off-season acquisition he was. But man, this Tigers team is in a tough state, as I am. That's what I sound like. I need some life. I'm sounding terrible right now, and I apologize for that. But a tough loss. Tigers got to bounce back, and that's what's up next. Game 2 of the 3-game series tomorrow night, and then we've got a day game on Thursday. So, as I mentioned, after the Marlins series, you got 3 really important pitchers going for the Tigers in this series. Mize was fine today. I know we didn't talk about him a lot. And again, he was kind of his own worst enemy by not covering first on the one play with Torque, that one that he actually kept in the infield. But Mize goes 5 1/3, 3 earned runs. He struck out 8. Tomorrow, going for the Tigers is Flaherty. So Jack Flaherty against Gavin Williams is your pitching matchup tomorrow, 6:40 first pitch. And then Tanner Beebe and Tarek Skubal about that on Thursday in day baseball. So Tigers got to come back and win 2. We'll feel better if they can do that. But tonight is not that night. Appreciate everybody tuning in. It's always a pleasure to be on the air, and make sure you check out Locked On Tigers with Scott Bentley. I would love to hear his thoughts after this one. And if you like and subscribe to the channel, we would greatly appreciate that as well. We've got Locked On Lions, the squad show on Thursday. You want to be a part of that one as well. And of course, Locked On Wolverines with Isaiah Hole, Locked On Lions with Matt Derry, Locked On Red Wings with Scott Bentley and Brian Fisher, and of course, Locked On Tigers. So, and I do the post-game shows. So there you go. Appreciate everybody tuning in, even if tonight wasn't an exciting night, or even just considering the fact that tonight was a bummer at Comerica Park. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Love you guys. See you.